Hi, this is Karen Cubico, and today we're going to talk about finding out that you have the pattern of doing your duty and figuring out how to heal that through past life regression. It's finding the root cause and dissolving that or releasing it so that you can move on and love yourself even more. A long time ago, I remembered this lifetime as a Rosalina. She is a woman from Greece. I included it in my first book that I wrote, Life is Just Another Class. It's chapter 11. It's a past lifetime I had in 1492. This woman, in this past lifetime that I remembered, she had inherited a olive tree farm. It was her love, her joy, and I'm telling you, the moment I tried a Kalamata olive in this lifetime, I was like, what is this amazing treat in my mouth? But funny, I didn't realize why I loved those olives, and I still do so much, because I had remembered this olive farm, and those were the kinds of olives that I was growing on that farm. What happened in that lifetime, though, is that my parents, I was kind of doing my duty to them. They arranged a marriage for me with an older gentleman. When I remembered that lifetime and came to the end of it, it felt oddly familiar. That person felt very familiar. That pattern felt very familiar in this current lifetime. So I did a whole lot of changes in my life to work through that. Now, years have passed since then, but this whole story about Rosalina is included in this book, so that if you're interested in reading more about her, you can. Through recognizing that pattern in that past life inspired me to then write another book, because I started seeing patterns in relationships for lots of people and helping them heal through that. So in this book, Making True Love, I have a whole chapter on how to work through when you recognize that you are doing your duty in a relationship, whether it's to a person you're with, your parents, whomever in your life, where you're doing so much for someone else, you forget to take care of yourself. So that's when doing your duty to someone else becomes not so fantastic and not so healthy. I included some information about Rosalina in this book also because it was so relevant to doing your duty. It was a recognition that gave me a pit in my stomach as soon as I saw that connection. So I've helped other people remember lifetimes where they were trying to work on doing their duty in this current lifetime, and recognize that they were always helping, always doing other things for other people, so much so that they never took care of themselves. Now, there's lots of reasons for that, but in this example, for doing your duty and trying to resolve that relationship pattern, I included Rosalina, who owned the Olive Garden and succumbed to a lot of abuse with that past lifetime person that she was sort of coerced in a dutiful kind of way to participate in this arranged marriage. She didn't know that this man was going to abuse the crap out of her emotionally, sexually, and physically. He had her do so much work. He didn't give her a nice place to stay in the house, even though it was her home. But she was happy working with all those olives, making olive oil and preparing the olives to be preserved in the brine, and lots of details about olive oil making and the tools that were used back then for her. But at the end of that lifetime, she came to the recognition that she was just really doing her duty to her parents and trying to please them. And remember to hit that like button and subscribe. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Another relationship pattern example of doing their duty. A woman came to me for a past life regression. She was trying to figure out her own relationship patterns. But what came up for her in a past life is that she found out she was doing her duty to Queen Elizabeth I. So it was quite a long time ago. And in this past lifetime, she was a male, and his wife had died. So he was finding something to do with his art skills and his painting skills. they had some people come to the castle to submit their ideas and their work for review. What was happening is that the people of the castle and the queen, they were looking for someone to do portraits on a regular basis to have of the queen, but that became his job. He was chosen to go work for this queen who was extremely picky on how she looked in the paintings and in the portraits, what she was holding, the color of her cheeks, the complexion, the clothes, every detail had to be perfect. Otherwise, she would ruin the painting even if that person had spent months on it. Now, this particular person in her past life that he was devoted and would stay there all day, all night, every day of the week, painting endlessly until he would just be exhausted. He had people working for him doing more portraits. I'm not exactly sure why they had to do quite so many, but it must have been something they did at the time. But it was endless work and thankless. But he continued to do his duty to the queen because that's what he was feeling like he needed to do for himself. He took it so far as to put his own needs aside. He didn't eat right, he didn't drink correctly or enough. He actually was sick at the end of that lifetime and died because he didn't take the time to take care of himself and put the needs of getting these portraits and paintings done first. Doing your duty is not something that you want to choose to do on a regular basis. Sure, helping others in your life is a great thing to do. It's always nice to give and to help others, for sure. But when you go and give and give and give to the point of you're forgetting to take care of yourself, then you have to set some boundaries. Draw a line in the sand, if you will, and really say, look, I'll be happy to continue to help you with this, that, and the other thing, but I have to do this for me first, so that you have that even back and forth kind of yin yang, or I'm going to help you and now I am going to help myself too, or I am going to be open to receive. Big learning lesson there, to make sure that you're also receiving the love and the nurturing that you need. And stay to the end. I have the guided meditation to help you find the root cause, even if it's in a past life, of whatever relationship issue you're going through. It's taken directly from this book and recorded for you. Lots of love and light to you.